AIDS Day with the theme End Inequalities, End AIDS. Ofem said to end AIDS in Nigeria, the people must join hands to end AIDS amongst all population segments. He also noted that the laws and policies that reduce the access to available HIV services by sex workers and other stigmatized and marginalized populations only worsen Nigerians' AIDS epidemic. In Lagos State, the state government has released a white paper on the #EndSARS panel of inquiry reports. According to the government, 11 out of the 32 recommendations were lost, but one person was injured. We move to Ebonyi State now, where Governor David Umahi has announced the immediate suspension of all civil servants from the conflict-torn Efirum community in Ohaoku local government over killings of 5 construction workers. Umahi made the announcement in Abakaliki during a security summit organized by the state branch of the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, and founding fathers of the state. The governor alleged that the perpetrators of the dastardly acts in the area were funded from both within and outside the state, adding that he will approach the State House of Assembly on the way forward concerning the chairman of the council and 2 assembly members from the area. Reports say suspects arrested over the incidents have confessed that the workers have been killed and buried. Meanwhile, the police team, which visited the area for investigation, were ambushed and 2 officers have allegedly been reported missing. On customs, terminal operators and other stakeholders have blamed the Nigerian Customs Service, NSC, for delaying the installation and deployment of NOCTEC mobile scanners delivered to the service at the nation's seaport for use. The chairman of the Seaport Terminal Operators Association, STOAN, Dr. Vicky Hastrop, said custom inefficiency was responsible for more than 80% of the cost incurred by importers and agents at the seaport. They gave the submission at a town hall meeting organized by the League of Maritime Editors in Nigeria. Hastrop, who said that the manual examination of cargoes has become a sore point in Nigeria's custom administration, added that the continuous utilization of 100% manual cargo examination and clearance constitutes a lot of bottlenecks in the system and are responsible for the huge cost of port services. In a separate development, Vice President Yemi Osibanjo has said that there is a need for the Nigerian Exchange Limited, NGX, to woo financial technology fintech firms rising capital beyond the shores of the country to the nation's bourse to deepen the market. Speaking at the 2021 Capital Market Conference held in Abuja, Osibanjo expressed concern about the inability of fintech companies and startups to access funds from the capital market. He stated, however, that the sustainability of Nigeria's fintech ecosystem requires existing and emerging financial services startups to have access to capital markets. According to him, attracting the FICTEM unicorns to the market as a viable option for the capital raising would give more investors the opportunity to benefit from the growth of the companies and create wealth for the economy. On drugs, the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has confiscated and destroyed tramadol worth about 2 trillion naira and substandard medicines valued at over 4 billion naira in the last 4 years. NAFDAC's Director General, Professor Mujishola Adeyeye, made the disclosure in Abuja at the press conference to mark her 4 years in office. According to reports, over 5 billion worth of falsified drugs, unwholesome food products and cosmetics were seized and incinerated nationwide by the agency between March and August this year. The federal government has reviewed travel protocol with an additional polymerase chain reaction PRC test imposed on inbound travelers as part of measures to contain the new Omicron variant. The Presidential Steering Committee PSC on COVID-19 has directed that passengers arriving in Nigeria are now required to conduct a PRC test 48 hours before embarking on their trips. Besides taking another test on 2 days after arrival and on day 7, they are also expected to self-isolate for 7 days. On economy, the National Economy Council has endorsed the Finance Bill 2022, which is expected to be passed along with the 2022 Appropriation Bill. The NEC meeting, which was presided over by the Vice President Professor Yemi Osibanjo, is composed of governors, the Federal Capital Territory Minister, the Central Bank of Nigeria, Governor, and other officials. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the Vice President on Media and Publicity, Laolu Akonde, says highlights of the bills were presented to the Council by the Minister of Finance, Budget, and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed. The minister said some of the proposed legislative changes cover domestic revenue mobilization, closing tax loopholes, public financial management, tax administration, reforms, as well as international taxation issues. In the meantime, the Minister of Police Affairs, Dr. Mohammed Dingyadi, has charged stakeholders on deliberate strategies to shore up the internally generated revenue, IGR, by leveraging on changing technologies with a view to stimulating the economy and good governance in the country. A statement by the head press and public relations unit in the ministry, Bolaji Kazim, says the minister spoke at the opening ceremony of a 2-day stakeholders zonal conference on IGR with the theme Strategies at an Economy and Provide the Necessary Dividends of Good Governance, noting that leveraging on the past pace of changing technology would help in recording accounts and reporting of revenues to block leakages, losses, and wastages. Back here, Akwa Ibom State Governor Udom Emmanuel has joined his Abia State counterpart, Dr. Ekezie Ikpeazu, to perform the foundation-laying ceremony of a multifaceted health and human development facility at the Ikoton Fort Ekpirinsukara in Uyo local government area of Akwa Ibom State. Speaking at the event, Governor Emmanuel lauded the Board of Trustees Chairman, Pastor Basi Udo, for choosing to site the project in Akwa Ibom State, expressing optimism that the project will, in the nearest future, change the face of the host community. Reaffirming support for the project, Governor Emmanuel said his government has awarded contracts for the construction of the entire stretch of Ekpirinsukara Road to complement the facility, adding that full construction will commence as soon as the weather becomes favorable. On his part, Abia State Governor Ekezie Ikpeazu described the initiative as a missionary work that would cater for the health needs of many in the area, stressing that siting of the project in Uyo, besides indicating the selflessness of the foundation, would cement his friendship with Udom Emmanuel. Still in Akwa Ibom, youths in 2 bordering communities in Ini local government area of Akwa Ibom have called on Akwa Ibom State government to undertake bridge construction, access road, and drinkable water in the area. According to the villagers, the bridge in the area was collectively constructed by 3 villages, including Mbiebet Ikodotok and Atongiben and Ishedia villages, were later demolished by a certain construction firm who promised reconstruction of the bridge. In an interaction with SpectrumTelevision, the people noted that besides the sufferings of the people regarding the demolition of the bridge and the lack of drinkable water, casualties have been recorded as people fell into the water as a result of the poor state of the place.
According to reports, 3 villages, including Mbiabeti Korotok, Atongeben, and Eyegedia, contributed resources to put up a mini bridge to connect. Youths in the affected community say that a certain construction company came with the promise to reconstruct a better bridge, but ended up demolishing their earlier constructed culvert, leaving the people in the area to suffer.
Ever since the demolition of the culvert we built, the place has remained like this. 3 weeks ago, 3 persons fell into the water. We had to search and find them. We also removed a motorcycle from the water. Tongoris company iri bumo bridge ngina mi.
According to reports, three villages including contributed a mini bridge to connect together. Youths in the affected communities say that a certain construction company came with the promise to reconstruct the bridge, but ended up demolishing their constructed culvert, leaving the area to suffer. They, however, attributed lack of drinkable water in the areas to the inaccessible state of their roads, calling on the government to come to their aid and construct the bridge, access road and water in the area. We have rice farm for SpectrumTV. They, however, attributed lack of drinkable water in the areas to the inaccessible state of their roads, calling on the government to come to their aid and construct the bridge, access road and water in the area. I am Wiyanekan reporting for SpectrumTelevision.
In Africa, Lesotho former Prime Minister Thomas Tambani has been charged with the 2017 murder of his estranged wife, Lipolelio Tambani. Gunmen have reportedly shot and killed Lipolelio Tambani on 14 June 2017, 2 days before Tambani was sworn in as Prime Minister. Reports say Tambani stepped down in May 2020 following months of pressure after he was named as a suspect on allegations of hiring hitmen to kill his late wife. The case has shocked many and caused political ructions in small landlocked kingdoms, which is entirely surrounded by South Africa. On the foreign scene, amid the growing concerns over the Omicron variant of COVID-19, Canada has added Egypt, Malawi, and Nigeria to the travel ban lists. According to Health Minister Jean-Yves Duclos, all travelers coming from outside Canada, apart from the United States, would now be tested at Canadian airports for the novel coronavirus disease, regardless of vaccination status. Elsewhere, diplomats are saying a United Nations commitment meeting today is unlikely to allow Afghanistan's Taliban or Myanmar junta to represent their countries at the 193-member world body. Rival claims have reportedly been made for the seats of both countries, with the Taliban and Myanmar's junta pitted against ambassadors appointed by the governments they ousted this year. The UN's acceptance of the Taliban or Myanmar's junta would be a step towards the international recognition sought by both groups. A 9-member UN Credentials Committee, which includes Russia, China, and the United States, will meet at UN headquarters to consider the credentials of all 193 members of the current session of the UN's General Assembly. On our business news, Nigerian Vice President Yemi Osibanjo says federal government expects the NNPC Limited, the successors company of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation NNPC, to be listed on the Nigerian Exchange within a year. Speaking in Abuja at the Nigerian Exchange NGX conference with the theme, The Future Ready Capital Markets, Innovation for Nigeria's Sustainable, Osibanjo noted that the listing of NNPC Limited would deepen the market and underscore government support for the markets. According to him, the market was at the cusp of history to realize its full potential by attracting a generation of technology-savvy young Nigerians who are looking for innovative ways of investing their resources. As still to come on the news, White becomes England's women's all-time leading goal scorer as Lionesses thrash Latvia 20 goals to nothing in World Cup qualifier. Stay with us. Thanks for staying tuned. In health, 105 new cases of COVID-19 have been confirmed in Nigeria in the last 24 hours, putting the country's new total at 214,218. Making up the fresh infections of 43 cases in Lagos, 21 in Gombe, 16 in FCT, 10 in Niger, 6 in Rivers, 5 in Plateau, 2 in Edo, and 1 each in Bauchi and Kaduna. 207,218 persons have so far been discharged, while 2,977 others have died from the virus. In sports, Elena White has become England's women's record goal scorer as the Lionesses thrashed Latvia 20-0 in World Cup qualifier to record their biggest ever competitive win. The Manchester City forward equally linked to Kelly Smith's record in 6 minutes with a strike from the edge of the area to put England 2-0 up after Beth Mead had given the Lionesses the lead. White did not have to wait too long to make the record her own as she met Georgia Stanway's cross to steer a low finish home 3 minutes later. On our entertainment news, rapper Folarin Falana, better known as Falz, has described the Lagos State Governor Babajide